Hello, my name is Savon, and welcome to my video. I am here. Well, first of all, how are you doing? Why am I pretending like this is like Blue's Clues or something like that? I am here to talk about my school experience. Why am I smiling so much? So let's get into it. From my school experience. Okay, first of all, we're gonna talk about anxiety. I want to say that my school experience, I felt, in my opinion, wasn't that great. I did not really like school. It didn't even have to be high school. I just didn't like my whole school experience, at all. Still have bad social anxiety, and I'm over here stuttering. I felt so different from other kids, and how do I explain this? I felt so different from everybody, and I think that was what made me feel more alone. Felt like there were people who had friends, who had people to talk to, and I felt like I was the only one who was just like what was wrong with me, you know? I remember I was always this nice person. Well, I still am. But I was so nice back in middle school, I think, or something like that. I don't know. And I remember that right when I got into middle school, everything changed. I remember how mean the kids were to me. I started to get bullied, and I remember I had to change myself. And it wasn't because I wanted to change myself. It was something that I had to do in order to, I guess, get respect in a way, or defend myself. I would say middle school was probably the worst school around that time that I had. I was this kid who was so nice to people, to where if they asked me just even for a pencil or anything like that, I'd give them a smile and say, "Oh, here you go," or I'd just be this nice kid. I remember it just changed. I just was more mean. I was more to myself. I didn't trust anybody. One thing I do hate is that I had to change myself, because I felt like back then I was too nice. At the same time, I do look at it like I've definitely learned from what I've been through, how things are today and how people can treat you, and just growing up in this type of world, it definitely has taught me to stand up for myself and not be so nice to people. Don't get me wrong, you can be nice to people, but you have to know when to stand up for yourself. I only really had one friend who was my friend in middle school. I remember I was trying to defend myself this one time because someone was picking on me in my Spanish class. I remember that it was two people who had basically beat me up. I kind of laugh at stuff like that now. I had two people do that to me, and I never forgot it. For me defending myself. And one thing is, it's so crazy that you don't even have to talk to anybody or say one word to anybody, and someone can just dislike you for no reason. I've had that so many times where I was this nice person, this person who was quiet, still quiet. I don't know if it's because they're insecure about something, or it's something that they're probably going through in their own lives, and they take it out. They bring it to school and take it out on you. And then they have you feeling upset. Obviously, I'm not justifying bullying, because I wouldn't do that because I got bullied. It's definitely something that person has went through, that they are taking it out on that person. I just remember when it was around lunchtime, and if my only one friend wasn't at school, I had no one to sit with. I remember it was times where I was so scared. I was so scared to go in the lunchroom and to just grab my lunch. And it was just an empty table, like where me and my friend usually would sit at. And then there would be the other kids in the lunchroom. They would sit with their friends. And I remember this one time, I sat by myself, and it was like the worst feeling ever, because here comes the anxiety part. The anxiety hit me so bad because it was people around me. It was also this girl that I liked, I think. And she was sitting with her friends, and I didn't want her to notice that I was alone. I didn't want her to notice that I was sitting by myself, that I was, I didn't want to look like lame, but I was lame. And I did not have any friends, and I'm okay with that, If my friend wasn't there for one day, I wouldn't even want to be there. I wouldn't even want to go through school, because I was scared that if I wasn't with my friend, that something could happen. I still talk to my friend from middle school every now and then. I should reach out to him and see how he's doing. He was the nicest, the most kind friend that I could ask for when I was in middle school. I don't think I would want any other friend, or could have asked for anything else from anybody. And I know this might sound like, oh wow, great, thanks, thanks, that helped a lot. But I just want to tell you, if it helps in any type of way, that I know how it feels to feel different from kids your age, I know how it feels. I still feel like that still to this day. I always try to have hope through what I may be facing. But it can be really hard, it might not be that same way for that other person. Some people, their hope might be lost, or they might be losing hope, Anybody out there who is dealing with being bullied by anybody, I hope that you're okay. I hope that maybe I can comfort you in any type of way through this video. I'll give you a hug. Another thing I want to talk about. There is some teachers that are in school with kids that bully them. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's not only just some kids bullying other kids. It's also teachers that pick on kids too. They just don't say anything about it. And it's not talked about a lot. I went through that same thing too, where I had teachers make fun of me and pick on me about the things that I knew, which, like, I mean, academically, I had teachers talk about, like, you know, the way I learned, and just, I've had teachers pick on me. They do it in a certain way, or what I mean by that is they'd show favoritism to the other kid. If it was a popular kid, and then there was the other kid who wasn't so popular, and they would treat that kid, I feel, more better than that other kid who wasn't popular. Yeah, maybe that person might be more known than that other person, but that's not what I mean. I've been in situations, I've been through this. I went through this, so I would know. Only the people that have been through this situation know what I'm talking about. You have to go through this whole thing to see what I'm saying. Other people have different perspectives on it, and they might think, oh, this person might not know what they're talking about. But only really you in your mind is gonna know what you've seen and what you've been through. People could be telling you, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But until you've been through that thing, nobody knows what you're gonna be talking about. Nobody's gonna fully understand you like you. I remember it was a time where one of my teachers, there was a kid that came into the classroom, and she gave him a nice smile, talked to them politely. As that kid left the classroom, as I walked up to her desk and I started talking to her, I asked her about a problem on my paper, and I remember her smile went from this to this, and she just stopped smiling. Like her whole demeanor like just changed. Everything changed. I pay attention to stuff like that, and that's what I mean. You have to actually pay attention to stuff in the situation to understand. And teachers actually do pick on kids. Not all teachers, because there are some really cool teachers out there. Most of my school experience, I was upset. I did not have a good time. The only time that I really had a good time was around preschool. It was this one time. They said, we can put on our pajamas and we can bring like a sleeping bag or something like that. And we all watched the Polar Express. This was around Christmas time. Watched the Polar Express on this big screen in the gym, and everybody was laying down. Everybody, I think you could get some hot chocolate, s'mores or something like that. I don't know. Refreshments already there, and like talk to your friends and watch the movie. And it was just, I remember that. I'll never forget it. You can comment down below, and I would love to read your comment and see myself in your experience, or try to picture what what you went through in my mind. So, if you want to comment and tell a story, I'd love to see that. If you guys like this video and you want to see more from me, definitely subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Peace out.